The Nar Shaddaa Nightlife event is a limited-time event in Star Wars: The Old Republic, where you can head to Nar Shaddaa and gamble your credits away for a chance to win some unique prizes during this once-yearly event set in the summer. This event comes by every year, and each year brings a few changes. This year's changes were really great. In addition to 10 new item rewards, all of your casino chip tokens are now legacy-wide currency, and they're no longer split between your different characters. Makes everything so much easier. The 2025 event will be lasting July 8th until August 18th, 2025. I'm going to start by showing you how to start the event if you've never played it before, and then I'm going to go into some strategies for the different machines, why you might use them, and what kind of prizes you can get. If you want an introduction to the event, you can interact with the floating terminal with a quest in the center ring of the Republic or Imperial fleet, which will give you some free gambling chips and send you towards the event on Nar Shaddaa. This introductory quest can be started at level 15 or higher. The only thing you'll really need is your ship, so you can actually fly to the planet the event takes place on. The casino where the event takes place is located roughly in the middle of Nar Shadda's map, in the Star Cluster Casino on the Republic side, and the Club Vertica Casino Imperial side. You don't technically need to do the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife quest to participate in the event, but it gives you some free tokens to spend. After you start the quest from the glowing blue floating terminal on the fleet and fly to Nar Shaddaa, there will be a series of quests at the casino that you can complete, including an overarching quest that you should pick up as soon as possible from an open crate in the casino. Then you can continue the main casino quest by talking to the quest giver in the back of the casino. The overall quest, which you'd get from that open crate, called Dubious Odds, is once per character, but has a great reward. And the other smaller quests can be done once per day per character, as part of a repeatable quest chain starting in the casino. If you need help with any part of this quest, including how to get past Mech Shaw if you're low level, visit my guide linked in the description of this video on Swtorista.com. So those are the quests related to the casino event. Now let's talk about how you actually play the event. So once you get to the casino, you'll see a bunch of players playing with the slot machines. There are 3 main types of slot machines: the Smuggler's Luck, Kingpin's Bounty, and Emperor's Grace. The casino chips to play these slot machines can either be bought directly from a vendor or dropped from enemies while playing. You may have even come across some while playing on your characters without even knowing the Nightlife event was going on. Tokens are legacy-wide and shared across all your characters on your server, and you can see how many you have on your character by opening your inventory, then clicking the Currency tab. So let's talk about the 2 ways. First is buying tokens. Tokens can be bought from the droid in a tuxedo named Casino Cashier. If you're buying tokens from the vendor, you can easily buy them in bulk by holding down your Shift key and right-clicking the tokens and dragging them into your inventory to buy them in bulk. The expensive Emperor's Casino chips are 7.5 million credits each, the Kingpin's Casino chips are 100,000 credits, and the Smuggler's Casino chips are 5,000 credits each. If you're looking to get tokens for free, they also drop from enemies while playing. If you're a pure solo player, any enemies have a chance of dropping tokens. Players usually suggest killing whatever low-level enemies you can find on Tython, or Mantel, Hutta, or Korriban, but this method seems to have some type of limit in place, so eventually you'll stop getting rewards or token drops. There's also a lot of randomness involved. Some players will report getting 2 or 3 tokens doing this, or other players will report that they've gotten a whole bunch. Ooh, I went and did some live research while recording this video, and it seems like solo story mode flashpoints also seem to drop these as well. So if you're a solo player, jump into solo flashpoints and each of the bosses has a pretty good chance of dropping some tokens. For my test, I was able to easily stealth through almost everything in the objective Meridian flashpoint, and I think you can stealth through most of a trader among the chists as well. Any solo flashpoint should do the trick though. The most common method of getting tokens is to run veteran mode flashpoints. You'll also see tokens drop from story mode operation bosses too. Since this is a casino event, many players incorrectly assume that you need to have a lot of credits to participate in this event. This is wrong. This is actually an event for players of all types, which is really cool. If you're playing the game regularly, whether you're playing solo content and just running around doing the story and killing enemies, or especially if you're doing flashpoints or you're doing operations, you're going to wind up with a whole bunch of tokens. And it can be really fun to go play content, get a few tokens, go turn them in, win some stuff, and go back to playing. With the nice new change that the tokens are now legacy bound, you can even have one of your characters just parked in the casino ready to spend those tokens, so you never have to take your other characters off of their story path, whichever planet they're playing on. Pretty cool. By the way, if you happen to have tokens from previous years, you'll just need to log into each of your individual characters to get them added to the legacy-wide, server-wide pool. They don't go there automatically. Okay, we've talked about the quests and we've talked a bit about the different casino chips. Now let's talk about the different machines. The first type of slot machine is the Smuggler's Luck. It's the more common green one in the casino. It has a much lower chance of winning anything, but the tokens to play it cost a lot less, and it can be a way to win prizes on the cheap. To play it, bring a Smuggler's Casino chip to it and right-click the machine. Playing the slot machines doesn't require any skill. Whether you win or not is simply up to luck. So these green Smuggler's Luck machines don't really drop any prizes for the most part. The best thing you could possibly get is a golden certificate, which is a token that you can turn in for other prizes. When you put a token into the green Smuggler's machine, the most likely outcome is that you're just going to get your token back and play again. However, these inexpensive machines do have one really good trait. The Smuggler's Luck slot machine also has a chance of giving you a special buff called Feeling Lucky, which lasts for 10 minutes and increases your chance of winning while playing the expensive slot machines. Let's move on to the second machine. The Kingpin's bounty slot machines are a lot more expensive to play, but give you the ability to win actual prizes. These are the purple machines. When you play the Kingpin machine, you have a similar chance to the cheaper machines of simply losing or winning your tokens back. However, you also have a slightly higher chance of winning golden certificates and an incredibly low chance of winning an actual prize, including ones that cannot be bought from the vendors. In addition to actual prizes, the Kingpin's bounty machines also have a chance of giving you a special buff called Good Karma, which lasts for 10 minutes and increases your chance of winning while playing the more expensive machines. Now we'll talk about the final machine. The Emperor slot machine is the jackpot machine and looks like a statue of a golden hut. If you're lucky while playing the rest of the game, you'll get lucky and pick up one of these little babies and then come turn it in on Nar Shaddaa in the casino. If you're buying a token, the Emperor's casino chips are the most expensive at 7.5 million credits each, but there are certain prizes that can only be won on the Emperor's Grace machine. For players who have the credits, it's best to play the Emperor's Grace slot machine, if your goal is to get the prizes. There's a whole bunch of pets, mounts, and armor pieces that you can only get from the Emperor's slot machine and nowhere else in the entire game. And there you go. That's pretty much how the entire event works. If you just want to learn the basics of the event, you're good to go to Nar Shaddaa now. However, if you want to listen a little more, I'm going to talk a whole bunch about strategies as well as the very expensive max bet machines. But let's start with strategy. Do you remember how I talked about the fact that the green Smuggler's Luck machines give you a buff called Feeling Lucky? And the purple Kingpin's bounty machines give you the Good Karma buff? If you combine those two buffs, getting them at the same time, they can stack together on the expensive Emperor's Grace slot machines to increase the chances of you winning to a really high amount. So if you get both buffs, then you can spin the Emperor's Grace without losing pretty much until you win a prize better than a golden certificate. And you'll likely win a bunch of golden certificates as you spin with both buffs until you win a prize. If you want to give this nice little strategy a shot, start at the green Smuggler's Luck machines, stand in the middle of 4 of them where no one else is, click them all until you see the words Feeling Lucky in red text pop up in the screen, or you have the little blue hut symbol above your character portrait. Once you've got that, you can walk over to the purple machines and click through a set of 3 of them until you eventually get the Good Karma buff. That's a symbol of a light-sized star in blue. Once you've got both, head over to the Emperor's Grace slot machine and spin till you win, and repeat the process for however many Emperor's tokens you have. If you don't have a lot of credits or don't have a lot of those purple Emperor's tokens, this is going to be the best way to maximize your chances of winning an actual prize. Now, if you do have a nice little pile of credits that you're ready to spend on the event, if you want to save credits, you can still employ that method of getting the 2 different buffs. However, that does take some time and does cause you to run around quite a bit. I bought for myself about 50 of those Emperor's tokens and added them to the ones that I earned through playing Operations earlier in the week. But buying those 50 tokens alone cost me 375 million credits, so I wanted to make the best use of them. So I was playing the buffs, but it was taking quite a long time to actually get them into the Emperor's Grace machines after getting the 2 buffs. I think if you've got the credits to spend, a really great way to win prizes is probably just to sit in front of that Emperor's Grace slot machine and put them straight in without worrying too much about the buffs. I found even though I did win less often, I still won quite a bit, and I was able to win more frequently just because I was able to stand there instead of running around like a chicken between the machines. Don't forget that 50 tokens doesn't equal 50 spins. It actually equals a whole bunch more because you'll often win your token back. So there's some strategies for playing the main casino event. There's actually a whole bunch of hidden machines called the max bet machines that I'm going to talk about next. I'm actually fairly certain that these specific max bet machines were originally added to the event to help remove credits from people's inventories and to help improve the economy. The idea was that these machines cost 20 times the cost to spend, either 20 tokens or 20 times the credit cost to buy a token, but they would have a higher chance of winning. From my personal testing, as far as I can tell, they don't seem to actually have a higher chance of winning, but we never have the percentage rates of what machines can win and not win. Those are secret and behind the scenes. This year, the economy is actually doing a lot better due to the changes the developers made to the overall game. And so I think they took this opportunity to add some new exclusive prizes to these machines. So now there are 2 prizes you can only win from the Smuggler's Luck Max Bet machine and 2 prizes you can only win from the Kingpin's Max Bet machines. Just don't forget spinning those cost 20 times as much as a regular Smuggler's Luck or Kingpin's machine. These machines can be found in the VIP section of the Republic or the Imperial Fleet, rather than on the planet of Nar Shaddaa with the rest of the casino. If you head to the VIP area up the elevator in the center of the fleet, you'll have access to 3 new types of machines called max bet machines. If you're unable to enter the elevator, you'll first need to buy the wristband from the droid vendor in the cantina nearby for 1 million credits. You'll often see players spinning the machines up there, trying to get the exclusive prizes. Where it gets interesting is the Emperor's Grace max bet machines. So these super expensive Emperor's Grace max bet machines either cost 20 Emperor's Grace tokens or they cost 150 million credits each just for a single spin. They do not have any type of unique prizes, and you're not even technically guaranteed a jackpot every time you spin them. When players talk about the max bet machines, they usually say something like, they're for players with more credits than cents. They're for players with a whole bunch of credits who are ready to just dump them into the machines and not even worry about their credit stash. This year's a bit different because there is now 4 exclusive prizes that you may want to chase after, even if you don't necessarily want to spend the credits on those machines. But since the Emperor's Grace Max Bet doesn't have any unique prizes, when is it worth it to buy Emperor's Grace Max Bet tokens? At first I thought, well, I really want some of the new rewards that only show up on the 2 types of Emperor's Grace machines. Maybe I'll buy some of those expensive tokens and test it out. This was really dumb and I really regret it, and all my credits went bye-bye with no real rewards. Most of the time, these expensive machines still wind up just rewarding you with golden certificates, which you can easily get from the less expensive machine for 1/20th of the cost. But when does it actually start making sense to use these machines? How rich do you have to be for it to be careless to use them? In my opinion, it doesn't make sense to even touch the Emperor's Grace max bet slot machines unless you have 8 to 16 billion credits. Billion, yes, spread across multiple characters, which will give you about 50 to 100 spins. And you also have to not mind dumping that many credits into the event. So you'd ideally want to have even more saved up for whatever else you want to buy in the game. So even if you consider yourself rich and have a couple billion credits, it makes more sense to instead use the normal Emperor's Grace machines. The other two types of max bet machines are a bit different though. They have different odds and they offer unique prizes, and they're a lot less expensive to play. So enjoy this live reporting from Swtorista's empty pockets. Don't spin the Emperor's Grace max bet machines, even though they look so tempting because they're so expensive. Now let's talk about the rewards. There is so many rewards for the Nightlife event, and they're spread out amongst 3 different types of ways to get them. There are mounts, there are armors, there are pets, there are weapons, there are decorations, and there's even a toy. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that you can get from this event as they keep adding more each year. The first way to win prizes is directly from the machines. You spin, maybe you'll get a jackpot, and you'll get a prize directly in your inventory. The second is more indirect. You'll win a golden certificate from a machine, and then you'll be able to take that over to the vendors at the back of the casino and turn it in for a prize of your choice. You usually have to save up a couple of these, or up to 50 for the more expensive prizes. The last way of getting prizes are from Cartel Certificates. These are the most obscure, and the ones players are the most confused about the first time they get one. There is no place to spend the Cartel Certificates directly in the casino, and they're actually a very old type of currency that was from a whole different method of getting stuff in the past, and they added them to the casino event as a gift for players. The first place you can spend these is on decorations. You can find this decoration vendor in the Strongholds and Crew Skills section of the fleet. There's a nice variety of fun and useful decorations at this vendor, and they usually only cost 1 to 2 cartel certificates each with no requirements to buy them. You just go to the vendor, pick them up, and then you can put them in your stronghold, your player housing. The second way to spend cartel certificates is a little more complicated. There's a whole bunch of vendors in the Cartel Bazaar section of the Republic or Imperial fleet, but you're going to need a little more than just the cartel certificates to get these. I've covered this in a completely separate video called Underworld Exchange Reputation Guide that will go over how to get these rewards, including some rare and expensive cartel market items from those vendors. While playing, keep in mind that gambling can be very addictive. This event is meant to be a fun way to spend some credits and pretend you're part of the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife scene, but it has a lot of the same attributes as a real-life casino. Make sure to set goals about how many credits you want to spend and don't go beyond that. Same thing goes for time. If you find yourself in the casino far more than a couple hours, you might need a break. Although a lot of the prizes you can win from the slot machines are cool, a majority of them can be found as different versions in other parts of the game, and will likely return the next time the event rolls by, so don't stress too much about getting them. I hope your stay on Nar Shaddaa during the Nightlife event is enjoyable and prosperous, but remember, the house always wins. I hope you enjoyed this overview of everything that goes on the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife event in Star Wars: The Old Republic. If you want to show your support for this project, visit Swtorista.com/support. And if you want more videos like this to show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. As always, may the Force be with you. No, wait, can I say that in a video about gambling at a casino? Oh.